Uh-oh. All right, we're good. What's going on? What is your boy at Big Game James _36? And this is Big Games BS, a part of the Den Media Group, presented by thehumidor.com and ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits is the go-to place for everything party related. This summer, getting all kinds of celebrations going. Hey man, you need to go check these guys out. They got everything that you want for the low. A lot cheaper than your average liquor store, and also just with a lot better attitudes. They are who we get all of our tailgate stuff for. So all the parties you see me about, we get it from there. I'm gonna share this a little bit. People probably thought I just stopped doing this shit because we ain't did it in a minute. And I gotta focus in a little bit more because man, boy, I'm talking when I did the news yesterday, the worst thing to do is the news with a migraine. Because when I tell you them lights is bright, like it's just boom, bright. It's bright lights, and then it's a 3-camera setup. So we have a 2-camera setup. So when you see Miles go back and forth, but like the 3-camera setup is sometimes the most optimal one, right? But what happens when you have more than one person on a camera? So like what happens is you gotta turn your head and do all this other different jazz. And there's a light that tells you where to go in the studio. So it's like I got bright lights, and I got a bright ass red light that's telling me where to look at. And then you got to focus in on that. And it's just, anyways, it is what it is. But kind of doing some housekeeping. So we've had one show in probably like the last 10 days, if I'm thinking correctly. But a lot went on. On Friday, we had to do some cleaning in the world's greatest cigar lounge. So like the timing was just thrown off. We couldn't really get to do a show. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but a lot of things have been going on in the world. So we had the NFL draft. We had a guy who was supposed to be leaving Florida State. We've had Lamar Jackson's contract. So we're gonna get into as much of this stuff as possible. But the most pressing thing is we had the NFL draft. Well, first off, before we do anything, I want to show my tailgate. We are selling tickets to the tailgate. The tailgate link will be in the description of this when you go back, or you can go to my pin suite and you can just see what we do is we have parties. And it's a lot of liquor, a lot of beautiful people, very mixed crowd. This one will have 5 lots, one dedicated to the children, and there will be plenty of mixer. We will have, hopefully by this time, you guys will stop worrying about the sexual orientation of whoever's drinking your beer, so that I could just easily buy beer. But we will have beer at this tailgate. We'll have plenty of liquor. We'll have a seafood boil. We'll have a NOLA style lot. We'll have barbecue. We'll have American food. And I'm thinking about having some Jamaican food. I was hanging out with my homegirl, Hannah, who runs the Real Teen Cafe this past weekend. And they can go, man. Like Jamaicans can go. I was out till 2:00 in the morning. I don't like that. That's and I left and it was getting crowded. It was like more people were coming. I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm older, but you gotta save up your energy for this one right here. $60, all you can eat, all you can drink. We will raise the price up the last month, the month heading into the game, and then at the probably at the tailgate is gonna cost you a season ticket. It's gonna cost you about $80 probably, but there will be TVs at the lot. So there's that. Go to I think I got the Army thing up there, Miles. I want to show that. Listen, if you got insurance, this is what you need to be at right here. And you're in the Jacksonville area. May 6th, FSCJ. I need you guys to show up, take pictures, give me proof that you showed up. I'm looking for 20 kids. If you give me proof that you signed up and you went, I'm giving away a $500 scholarship. So that means you also got to prove you're going to college or something like that. But if you go here, listen to what the Army can potentially do for you. outside of just going to the dirt and things like that, career opportunities. Go out there, hang out. There's food. There'll be other gifts, register to wins that'll be out there. But big game. If you come in, you inbox me, you text message me, you show me that your child went to this, there will be part of the opportunity to get a $500 scholarship. Oh, geez, we got the chat. Just good, a lot of good mornings. That's so cordial. I don't know. They've been one for a while. It would have said that we would have had like the little highlight if they were a new member. But anyways, if y'all could spread the word about that, I greatly appreciate that. Be all you can be, all that jazz, all that good stuff. So, also, Miles, did you flew Spirit or Frontier? Frontier, but like, was this look like something that they would do when y'all playing? Did you got the video? This is why I'm afraid to fly poverty airlines, because they try to clean it up in the comments. Like people are on special duct tape, like airplane duct tape. I don't care. If I see somebody doing this, I'm getting off the plane. Like I'm opening the with the exit doors, and like I'm walking out the exit door. I'm not even, because if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die on the ground. I don't want to die up in the air. My man is really up here duct taping this thing, and I know people gonna be, because that one thing I'm learning about YouTube. You guys, if you want a good laugh, go look at not the shows, because I don't know how many people go back and watch the shows to comment, but go look at the reels, and man, these people are mad. I make people angry sometimes. They be roasting my ass. Like, it's way better than, like, on Twitter, some of these people would be banned on Twitter for what they're typing. YouTube, I love that. Keep this energy. Never change. Don't fall into the liberal agenda. Actually, I say that, but the conservatives are some of the softest snowflakes I've ever met. So, like, don't fall into the liberal conservative agenda of trying to make people change what they say. Because there's a lot of Miami fans were mad that I told them that their quarterback has a 1.15 touchdown, 1.15 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. No, I'm not wrong. Like, that's why I'm not mad. I'm like, you're mad at my opinion on facts. But like I always tell people, I tell my friends, because my friends argue in the troll manner, and I'm like, you guys, that's what I tell them, you got to learn your people. If you know me, I argue facts. It is sometimes I'll add a little bit to it with the opinion, but it's basically, you can't refute what happened. But what you can do, I can change my mind. You've got to give me. Hey, so actually post a picture. I do this to my guy T-Wig all the time at his barbershop. It's probably why it takes me 2 hours to get a beard tape up sometimes. Because he gets really like that old man mad. Because that's my dog. And he is extremely intelligent, extremely smart. But like, I be hitting T-Wig with facts to his opinions, and I'd be like, you have to give me, like, especially when it comes to the Michael Jordan LeBron debate. Can you guess the person that T-Wig loves? Yes, of course. And what happens is, how to fluster any Michael Jordan fan is to use their criteria for GOAT for other people who have accomplished more. Well, you see, he's got more championships, so that means Bill Russell's the GOAT. Well, no, you can't be that. I said, well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is more successful. Yeah, also has the most points. Well, it can't be. I was like, well, no, what you're doing is you're moving the goalpost to that. But this was us at the draft party. Probably gonna make some people mad, because now I can speak candidly about the Jacksonville Jaguars draft, which I think wasn't bad. I think it was really good at places, and I think it was piss poor at others. It's Ben Baalke, Ben Baalke doesn't know what he wants me to do. Not Ben Baalke. I call him that. Trent Baalke, the GM for the Jags, doesn't know if he wants me to be a fan or if he wants me to be wants me to hate him. But I'm okay with either. We're gonna go through that, Ramon. Now, yesterday I almost made Chris Porter spit out some imaginary juice, because he asked me about somebody. And when my mother told me that if you don't have anything positive to say about anybody, don't say anything at all. So he asked me about some 6th-round cornerback. And you know what? This is when you know the person's not any good. I say they're a nice person. I don't even know if he's a good person. He might be a terrible guy. But before we get into all of those different things, I wanted to name this segment, You Have to Have an Agent. Uh-oh. Is it that old that it just disappeared? Okay, here we go. Everybody told us for years Lamar Jackson is stupid. And Lamar Jackson is stupid because he has to have an agent. You got to have an agent, right? Got to have an agent. There's this thing that went up, like, what were you doing 5 years ago, right? 2018. You know, 2018, 5 years ago, you know who got drafted 32nd overall pick? Lamar Jackson. They all said this man couldn't have it. He's wrong because he didn't have an agent. He hired his mom Deuce. It's crazy, and it's women who are saying this too. Wow. So I had listen. I'm gonna tell you this too. This might make you mad. We got a good little thing. I think it's because of the hoochie mama, the hoochie daddy thing. We got a lot of female. We got more female viewers overall. Don't know if it's for the show or if it's just because that reel that we got they got 20,000 views. Women, y'all gotta stop moving the goalposts, man. Female is a scientific description of a woman. Like somebody put. When a man says female, it's the equivalent of a white man calling a black man a boy. No. They've also said, I've also heard my sister say some dumb shit like when they say female, they just want to say bitch. I said, no. That's passive aggressive. That's the passive aggressive motherfuckers that you rolling with. Anybody who knows me, if you are acting like a bitch, I do not unintentionally disrespect people. My disrespect is extremely intentional. If you a bitch, you a bitch. Like Too Short's favorite word. Like we are not, real men ain't hiding this shit. If I just happen to say female, it's interchangeable for woman, blah, blah, blah. I literally mean you're a female. That's what I'm saying. It's just that the shit doesn't make it make sense. But like, then I said, I told my female friend, said, I remember this a couple years ago. Every night I said, I asked 10 female friends. And like 7 of them said, nah, that don't bother me. 3 of them who I happen to know are very sensitive to any fucking thing. Like, we're like, all right. And I'm just, and then, you know, this female friend told me, you know, some females are the, are bigger whatever. I don't even know. I'm trying to use this big word, but it's fucking me up right now. Some females are bigger. They're bigger not monogamous, misogynist than ever. So I'm like, so now a female can't even say what she feels or she's misogynist. I said, what if I told her that? What if I mansplain to a woman that her not being offended by female is being misogynist? Isn't that misogynist to me? Anyway, so my point is that women and everybody are like, Lamar Jackson's stupid because talking heads tell you. And my boy OJ, extremely smart guy. We agree on a lot of things. There's going to be something later in the show that we don't agree about. I think we agree about it, but different sides of the agreement. That same draft, there was a guy by the name of Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was drinking and for no reason, because we picked on him on Sports Day. For no reason. He wasn't in trouble. He just ran from cops. But he got chased down by a fat cop. I would not have drafted Baker Mayfield for the sole reason that he got an athletic, in your prime, got chased down by Paul Blart. But as OJ said, getting chased down by the police didn't mean nothing to the NFL teams. But a kid not hiring an agent was the worst thing in the world. And then we've heard all offseason, Lamar Jackson needs to hire an agent. He needs to hire. That's why he doesn't have his contract. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But you know who hired an agent? Will Levis. White boy eating bananas whole, doing all kinds of other shit. Oh, like, I'm not exaggerating that. Skin and everything. Oh, my God. I think he puts mayonnaise on it as well. It's disgusting. But Will Levis hired an agent and got drafted 33rd overall. I'm sorry. Lamar's mama right now is better than Will Levis's agent. Lamar mama got him drafted 32. Will Levis, whose girlfriend was, if you go on our community, what you got to learn, if you're listening to this on Facebook or anything else, get off of Facebook, get off of Twitter, join YouTube. It is a vibe. There's a whole fucking community. There's like timelines. I post pictures on the Sports Den thing. It's dope. Girlfriend, not even gonna lie, she could be my first. Badass white girl. Like I'm talking about, like that's one of those white girls that you get, and all the black women that get mad at black men for dating white women. Ooh, that's all right. We good, Miles. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, that's one. I'll give you a pass for that one. But his girl definitely gave the look like I signed up to date a first round draft pick, not some loser in the second round. That's what his girlfriend really looked like. But this is when I put, like, we got to take this sound, Miles, and put it on the board, because Funk Flex gave us all a gem when he was talking about the gay thespian, Tupac. One, watch Dear Mama. Dear Mama's gonna prove all the points that I've ever said about Tupac, by the way. And that thing. We might have to just go one camera for a little bit, Miles, because we got to get this Funk Flex sound up. I love this though, this Funk Flex shit. But actually, we go into other stuff. But Will Levis didn't have an agent. I mean, Will Levis had an agent, didn't work out for him. I got into some arguments with some friends, and right when they were talking about Lamar Jackson, I was like, you know how many people sign with agents that are sitting at home right now? Agents are not this magical, mystical creature that just does everything right. But this is what Will Levis told his mom. We want the sound on this one. This is what he told his family after, because it was more embarrassing is that they flew to Kansas City. So you're the last person in the room, and they make you come back, and you have to listen to this. But this is what Will Levis told his agent.
He lied. Y'all niggas worship him. He lied. Y'all niggas worship him.
He, being from Kentucky, and we saw the white girl go on the rant, we know he said it with the word, but he used the A, so it makes it a little bit better. But you have to listen to your agent, Williford. They're gonna make sure you're taken care of. And this is what he said. He lied.
Who is he talking about?
In this clip, they're saying that Tupac lied about Biggie's involvement with Haitian Jack to get him shot at the studios, and then it started this whole East Coast West Coast beef. And then that's when he was just like, he lied. Actually, the whole clip is great. It's because it's more than that. It's like, he lied. And you worship him.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to tell the truth. On God, he said it. That's what he said. Nobody wants to tell the truth about that. I mean, he was heated. Whatever Pac did to him, like, didn't jiggle his nuts or something or whatever, just really, really bonkers. Funk Flex is a weird dude. Now, just clicking, going down the list, just some cool stuff. That one right there is cool. Jalen Carter, again, another guy who, again, the NFL, I tell you, people, they don't give a shit. The NFL just does not give a shit about character. Like, if you can rush the passer, well, I don't even know which one that is, Miles. That's not the video. Yeah, this large mammal in a lavender suit. I actually kind of like that. I need to tell my Taylor that's cool. We're gonna experiment with colors this year, but I don't want them to make me like have people questioning. Like, I don't want to experiment that much, but he's too big for you to really question, because you're afraid. And we also know he's about drinking and driving fast, so we don't know what else. He's a reckless person. But the Philadelphia Eagles drafted Jalen Carter. They have Jordan Davis, who's also a large mammal. They have they've got 6 guys on the University of Georgia's defense from the national champion, not this past national championship, from 2 seasons ago, that are on the Philadelphia Eagles defense currently. And they also drafted Darnell Washington, blackest name in the draft, at tight end. And I'm gonna tell you, the Jags passed on Darnell because Jags. for a guy from Penn State that nobody knows. But it's got a cool last name. It was a strange choice. We'll just go with that. But Jalen Carter, basically, again, hiring your mom as your agent, bad. Killing people in a car accident, good. Just you can't make these things up. The cool thing, the other sideline, and this is what. After listening to it, I know what the lady was saying, and there was a big gaffe, and I'm sure she's embarrassed. But the draft is some of the most I don't want to say racist, because racist is a wrong way to describe it, but you know who they're talking about. I can say that. Stevie Wonder's not blind. A blind man can listen to draft coverage and know the race or ethnicity of everybody's being drafted based upon how the commentators are talking about them. Now, this young lady is the second one, Miles. Like after, so it's a let me see what the person, yeah, that one right here with this. And this is why I love female reporters. Because they can say some things, they can say things more freely than a man can say it. Like, we can't describe a male like this because it's definitely not heterosexual behavior. But if we just listen to how what is her name? We have I don't know this lady's name, but she's with the NFL Network, and she's very excited about some of the intangibles and the qualities that Jalen Carter possesses. So let's run that clip real quick, Miles.
We're hearing is Jalen Carter, the D tackle from Georgia, just won a national championship with the Bulldogs. Big guy, 6'3", 300. We're hearing is Jalen Carter, the D tackle from Georgia, just won a national championship with the Bulldogs. Big guy, 6'3".
Oh,
We're hearing is Jalen.
Is your headset on?
Carter, the D tackle from Georgia.
Okay, so they can hear it. That's all that matters. Basically, she says Jalen Carter has a big dick, and she stopped herself. I think she was trying to say Jalen Carter is a big D tackle or big D or big D, and then she stopped herself. But like, it's funny because it's live TV and there's no way you can edit it. You can't drop it. And she's a very petite woman that looks like she's very interested in Jalen's members. But there's people who will, like, those old white men will describe you like that in the draft. I'd rather her than them, but yeah. So there's that. Three African American quarterbacks were drafted in the top 4 picks, which is crazy. And then I want to submit this to you people without comment or context. The top 5 teams, college teams, with the most selections in the 2023 NFL draft. University of Georgia, they were the national champions. They were tied with Alabama, who was ranked number 5. Michigan was number 3. You do. There's 2 number 1s, so you have to skip 2, go to 3. Then that'll be University of Michigan, college football playoff. TCU finished ranked number 2. You know what they were in? College football playoff. You know who number 5 is, people? The University of Florida. They finished unranked and below 500. And you know what University of Florida people were doing all this weekend? They were trolling Florida State for not having only having 1 player drafted. And I just asked them, do you not understand? Do you not have questions? And then because a lot of the fans did not go to attend the University of Florida, which is a premier academic institution if you go for non-athletics. Most of them can't even attend community college. Most of them did not even pass the FCAT, which, if you don't know what the FCAT is, you're my age. That's a standardized test. Like, now it's fast. It's what my son's taking today. I had to explain this to them on the level of a fourth grader, and I think it still went over some of their heads. How do you get your ass whooped by a team that only has one draft pick when you have 6? Unless you know why we only had one draft pick. Miami tried to do the same thing. Y'all say y'all big dogs, y'all this. I said, you got your ass whooped by 45 points to a team with one draft pick and you had all this talent? That's not how you brag. That's brag. That's people, some people love to tweet, I brag different. That's bragging different. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, that is bragging backwards. But it's not only did Florida have that many people drafted, they had a quarterback drafted in the top 5, number 4 overall, in Anthony Richardson to Indianapolis Colts. Shout out to my boy Denny Thompson. It was a very great moment. Loved it. They almost got me, dog. Almost got me. Went up there and called my dog at the draft party. FaceTimed him. I ain't called him, I FaceTimed him. It said, hey man, I'm happy for you. But imagine, like, when you're a top 5 pick, like Jameis Winston was the number 1 overall pick at Florida State. That's a generational quarterback. You know what he only did at Florida State? Like, once, lose. Like, you give Florida State a generational quarterback, we're winning. Like, national championships. Like, he won a national championship, took us to a college football playoff, like that. But Anthony Richardson got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts, number 4 overall. It was just a great overall pick, great young man, dynamic player. All the tools that a good coach, an actual good coach, could potentially make better. He didn't have that in college, but he's got that hopefully in the NFL, and that's what they believe. Tired of explaining to people that you don't have to see what the NFL sees. Like, that's why you work at the post office and they work as a scout. It's just a different world. Don't know how to explain this to you guys, but Ant was drafted there. He's going up there with Denny's got 2 quarterbacks there, Gardner Minshew, as well as Anthony Richardson with the new coaching staff. Jim Irsay tried to start a race riot in the city of Indianapolis before this even got started by suggesting that maybe they should go draft Will Levis in the 2nd round and have like a 2 quarterback situation like the Commanders, formerly known as the Redskins, had with RG3 and Kirk Cousins. And like, people were like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. This is why billionaires get that. Like, billionaires should have the good Coke. Jim Irsay's just sniffing that baby formula cut shit. But Anthony was there. Anthony got drafted high. Heard nothing but good stuff. I told everybody, like, hey, I had a couple friends ask, hey, are you sure he's going to be drafted high? I said, man, this kid has got this kid going to get drafted. I guess the Colts do this horseshoe thing or whatever. And the trolls are really, really good on this. One of the trolls is like, they got Billy Napier. Because what happens is when your quarterback gets drafted, or your players are going in the 1st round, you go to the NFL draft. Like, so next year we may have a couple guys. Mike Norvell will probably be at the NFL draft. Hell, I'll probably be at the NFL draft. But my boy Sam, who I talked about the other day, he gets some. See, this was effortless, Sam. This is what you got to do. Like, this is a good one right here. Like, Sam didn't have to be controversial. Like, but he posted, this is Billy Napier taking somebody taking a picture of him taking a selfie at the NFL draft. And my boy Sam tweets out, Billy putting his name on the group project, I see. Like if you know that guy who did absolutely nothing, but they're part of the group and they needed to get that. And then my boy CJ posted right before that a picture with Rick Ross laughing. And he's like, boy had a top 5 quarterback, looked like a 2003 Nissan Altima on the field. God bless Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. And Florida Gator fans don't understand why we say we would love to keep Billy Napier as your head coach. Because, again, you went 6 and 7 with a top 4 pick. That makes absolutely no sense. But like Rick Ross is also one of the most memeable people like ever. Like, yeah, that was his laugh. Like, this is. It dude's like Billy Napier calling quarterback from the draft said gonna be this, and I even tweeted out. He's like, I can't wait to go 6 and can't wait to see you get drafted top 5 after we went 6 and 7, and I wasted your ability. That's basically what Billy Napier was saying. So, but all seriousness, I got to get Denny on to talk about all of this stuff. But yeah. So now to what we were talking about. The Jags draft. What people want to hear about my analysis. One, first round of the draft is just very difficult if you work multiple jobs. I don't know how fans do it. Because they got a good little DJ. They had just local DJ T Roy. They have this, like, I'm changing it from medium handsome to media handsome. Because there's a difference. I think sometimes people see you all the time. They see you in the suit. They give you this look because you can get the good camera angles. And people think media members look better than what they really look. In particular, some of the women, because they get a chance to put a lot of makeup. Y'all be contouring, so you don't really see them. She's media gorgeous. I don't know because I haven't seen her in real life, but like she looks nice. But they were doing a decent job. The Jags drafted later than any fan has ever seen. Even on the run, I think the Jags drafted 21st that year for some reason. I don't even know. I thought they drafted higher than what than what normal was when they got Taven Bryan. But this year we started off with the 24th pick. And then things just didn't go the way we wanted it to go. They traded back. And in the process of trading back, they acquired a bunch of picks that nobody gave a fuck about. They acquired a 5th round pick and a 7th round pick. Then you're like, okay, whatever. And it was just one, they just went back one. So the Jags went from 24 to 25. Then when 25 came around, with the Cowboys. Then when 25 came around, they traded back to the Bills to 27. And this is what the Jaguar fans were like at this point. They were just like Boosie on Vlad TV, just tired of this shit. Like, come on, man. Like, I was tired. I was falling asleep. I wanted to get the fuck out of there. And then the Jags did something that a lot of fans did not like or understand, because I think a lot of fans don't understand that the purpose of the draft is to get better to win games. So the Jags drafted offensive tackle from Oklahoma. Make sure I say Buddy's name right. I'm about to say, because I don't want to say Anton Johnson, but it's Anton something. Anton Harrison, still black. They drafted Anton Harrison. Anton Harrison from the University of Oklahoma, 3-year starter, gave up 2 sacks his entire career, very little pressures, runs a 4.99 in the 40. That's moving for a big man, 177 split. If you're watching the thing right now, like that's a lot of large mammal coming after you. Like, he's athletic enough to be able to play, former basketball player, family of actually basketball players. He's just that family of large mammals. He's got good footwork, able to be able to protect the passer. And because, as we talked about in the beginning of April, Cam Robinson potentially be suspended, this lets you know that the Jags knew something was coming. Because there was the tackle left. There were other positions of need that they could have taken, but they went and they took this guy. So if we got some of the college film right there, he's actually a really, really good lineman.
Like I did some throughout the game.
So like you see him there, got great separate, got great protection. His feet are in the perfect place. Quarterback gets the pocket, launches it. Very, very good. Very, very good pickup here by the Jags. And if Cam is suspended, whether it's 2, 4, or 6 games, you've got a guy that can go play left tackle. Then you can either slide him back to right, put Cam there, or you can put Cam at right tackle. But this guy is big enough to be able to play multiple positions on the offensive line, which is why it's a solid pick. Solid picks don't get fans' erections though. But again, when you think about what the Jags need, they need a guy who can win games. That like the Jags, you have one of the things that I've been saying in this entire time, right? As long as we have Trevor Lawrence and this old white man that's walking like an old white man with the gut out, but with a little swag, Dougie P. Oh yeah, man, like that's the confidence. Like people talk about the most swag in the world is those of us who possess dad bods and just let it go.
Right.
Dougie P doesn't look like a man who's stressed out about what he's eating. Leads with the belly. Like that is Miles. That is the greatest. Like I have never thought about it like that. Most people push their chest out. Dougie P is pushing his stomach out and is laid back, and he is leading with his belly. That's a man who I will follow. That's a man who didn't come in here to be pretty. He came in here to win ball games. Love it. Jordan DeLugo. Great. We have some really good beat writers for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to give you all of this stuff that doesn't mean absolutely anything, but they work really, really hard. So I want y'all to really pay attention. Like Jordan's good. My guy Shipley's good. Demetrius is good. All of these guys are good. And you know what they're going to always tell you? The positive. Because while the first pick was good, the second pick was as strange as them little middle school age kids on the Netflix special. Stranger Things. Especially the one with the teeth that don't look like they're fully developed. I don't know what that's about. It freaks me out. Oh my God, that's on the HBO mess, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so Brenton Strange is in the 90th percentile athlete who offers versatility to line up in line, in the slot, and in the backfield. Physical blocker on the line and in space. Caught over 60% of his contested targets with a 3% drop rate with 5 touchdowns on 38 targets in 2022. Okay. Let's digest all of this. 60% is a D. It's not good. And we drafted a tight end that's 6'5" and is 240s, who's basically, this is a poor man's version of Evan Ingram, who is our tight end that we're going to pay a bunch of money to, that we franchise tag currently. Except for he can't do what Evan Ingram does. His guy runs a 4.75 in the 40, I believe. So he's not a fast tight end. He's not a big tight end. The blocking picture that they show was him blocking a fucking DB, not a defensive end that weighs 275 pounds and runs a 4.5 like they'd have in the NFL. We're covering for the fact that we all drafted a tight end that nobody knew was. You know how I know? The fucking Jags didn't know who he was. You know why? When Brenton Strange was called and asked, what is it like to be a Jacksonville Jaguar? Do you know what he said? I hadn't heard from the Jags the entire time. The Jags didn't interview him. Like they didn't even do a Zoom. There's like a ton of different meetings that you had. This guy was our first pick in the second round, meaning he is a priority guy. And we didn't even talk to him. We don't know if this guy is really strange or not. Now they tried to make me like him because he can play fullback a little bit, but that doesn't change. This was an overreach pick. You went from good to bullshit. It is I have a friend on Facebook. from Pennsylvania. Biggest Penn State fan I've ever met in my life. Literally, he's a big man. Even he had to say, man, I don't get that one right there. I'm not saying that Penn State players aren't good. I'm just saying this guy isn't good. We drafted him extremely high. I think Shipley gave us some bars on this one. Oh, they said this is Shipley quoting what he said. I would say definitely my best football is ahead of me. Which is, I hope so, but I play the Y, I play the H, and I play fullback. You don't draft that guy in the second round that high. We got some clip. I wonder how I haven't heard it, but if you go to the Jaguars thing under Shipley's, we got a little bit of audio from Strange. You know, guys, Miles.
I would say definitely my best football is ahead of me. But my strengths are I can provide a lot. I'm very versatile. You can put me anywhere on the offense and be effective.
Nice.
I play the Y, I play the H, and I play fullback. So you can put me in multiple different positions to be able to impact the game. And that's my best strength. And I just can't wait to be a part of the team, help us win games, and make plays for us. I would say definitely.
All right, we can start. I want people to know that I want them. I want all these guys to pan out. I just don't see this. This is me being honest. This one right here just isn't a good pick at this point. It could be great, but at this juncture, that pick probably going to happen later. Britton Strange joins Cole Kmet and Drew Sample as the only tight end prospects with under 800 career receiving yards to be drafted in the first 2 rounds since 2014. Not 800 yards in a season. 800 career yards. Tank Bigsby, very good pick. Like Tank Bigsby. I'm running back from out of Auburn. He's almost averaged over 1,000 yards rushing in a situation where they've had multiple coaching turnover since he's been there. Bigsby is a 4.5 guy, kind of gives us a little James Robinson mix for what you have with Travis Etienne. I think he's 6 feet, 210, bigger guy. Definitely going to help us with a goal line presence. Ventrell Miller, happy he's here. Played at University of Florida. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't remember him. I'm sure he made some plays against us, but not very good. Tyler Lacey, defensive end, Oklahoma State. I had to talk about him. He's a big guy. He's a defensive end that runs a 5.15. Like, we are getting slower. We have a slow tight end, slow defensive end, but this defensive end, at least Tyler Lacey uses his hands very well. Yasir Abdullah, linebacker from Louisville, he's actually pretty good. Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M's good. Parker Washington, drafted in round 6, a wide receiver from Penn State. I know a lot of you guys don't know him very well because he only scored 2 touchdowns last year. He scored, I think he has 2 years of 2 touchdowns, 1 year 6. He's got 12 career touchdowns. And I made a tweet in his, because I didn't look at the freshman year when he really got off during COVID. But I looked at his last 2 years. I scored more touchdowns in one season as a fullback than this wide receiver. That's not good. Christian Roswell, not even a great write-up from his own school. Now, what I did like is Derek Parrish. Derek Parrish is a fullback from Houston. When you read that, everybody alerted me that James, we drafted a fullback. And that's why I gave this draft a B+. Only because they drafted a fullback. But then upon further review, they drafted a fullback that's never played fullback. Now, luckily, Strange can play a little bit of fullback. Parrish was a defensive end at the University of Houston who was having a pretty productive season until he tore his bicep. But you don't just, you can't, it's like a lot of my Christian friends. You can't just sin and then sprinkle Jesus on top of it. That's not how this works. You got to like actually produce and walk the life so that people want to follow you follow me as I follow Christ. Follow me as I lead block into this whole running back. But if you've never done that before, it's not the same. Different hand placement. Defensive ends can get their hands on the outside. You're used to tackling. Fullbacks, linemen, you got to have great hand placement up into the middle. You got to dip, hit, engage, lift up, and then drive your feet. You also got to be a little bit athletic. And I'm not saying he's not, but you got to learn how to catch the flat route and do all these different things. And I'm going to tell you, trying to learn how to catch in the NFL is not optimal. Because when you make your break, the ball is gone. Like, it's going to look bad. But I will tell you this, if he makes the team, I want you to holler at me, Parrish, because I want to do some fullback stuff with you with the Jags. But, like, all in all, the Jags – so the Jags traded back. It made my Friday night longer. My Thursday night longer for no reason. Then they traded back in the other rounds. At a certain point, you don't need this many people. This is the largest draft class in Jaguars history, with not very many people in the rounds that you actually keep. Rounds 5 through 7. Those guys you're cuttable. You're extremely cuttable. Hell, 4th round, if you're not drafted on the first 2 days, you better go out there and have a phenomenal camp, because you're basically just getting nothing more than a solid look, because they will cut your ass. I'm probably going to be the first person to tell you, I'd rather be an undrafted rookie free agent than get drafted in rounds 5 through 7, unless it's from a team that had very few draft picks. This might be part of what you want to cut to put into the other thing, Miles. But, like, I'm going to be honest with you. Hearing your name called in the draft is pure vanity. Pure vanity. Unless you're drafted in the first round, 2nd, or 3rd. Outside of that, all you're doing is just basically caring about stuff. And I want you to hold that morsel for about 5 minutes, because I'm not even going to go into Lamar Jackson that long. Yeah, we might need a new tripod for that. Lamar Jackson. Shout out to Mama. Mama got her baby the highest contract in NFL history when they said that she couldn't do it. They said that Lamar Jackson is losing himself money and he can't do something. Then somebody had the nerve to come and say, well, let's not act like she did anything great. All she did was take over for what the other woman did with Jalen Hurts' contract. And that's bullshit. Like, that woman went in there, that man bet on the woman who bet on him. If my mom cared more, I would actually not even fuck football. I'll put my mom in, like, if I make a big deal, my mom will be in charge of my finances in my life. That's how much I have faith in my mother over everybody else. Because I know she's going to have my back. She's going to go in there. Nobody's more determined than a black mama. And this woman has proven over and over again. And I keep trying to tell people who have never seen an NFL contract, I have 5 NFL contracts in my phone. I have signed an NFL contract. Them bitches ain't as complicated as you think. In particular, when you're talking about the guaranteed money. The other things, you can go seek counsel. I don't understand what people don't get about that. They're not going in blind. They have contract lawyers, or they can't negotiate it yet, but they can tell you what the fuck is on the paper. You can get ideas. Plus, the Ravens understand they're dealing with an MVP. They don't want to get the likelihood or get the name of screwing your players. Period. That's the Lamar Jackson thing. But I want you to play this girl right here, dude. Like, this is the funniest. This white girl reminds me of Danielle Kelly. If Danielle Kelly was a little girl right now, this is what I think. This is something that she would say. But this is basically what Lamar Jackson, highest paid player in the NFL, and this is what Lamar Jackson's mom said. If you look on the first link on Lamar Jackson, the little white girl.
not influence me. I'm my own person. I'm a strong black woman.
That's what Lamar
Do
Jackson
not
basically
influence me.
told the
I'm my
NFL.
own person. I'm a strong black woman.
And for
Not
all the
influence
people
me.
who are
I'm my own.
telling black women that they can't do these things, they're wrong. They lied. And y'all people worship him. But Lamar Jackson got cake. That's all we need to do. But I say this, the NFL draft, all in all, going back to that, it's full of a bunch of different things that are sad. They always find like the saddest. Even my son had to come to me and say, Dad, like, do you have to die for me to get drafted? Because it seems like all these guys have the most tragic lives. But this is a scene that the only way it can happen is if I'm still covering the NFL or covering stuff and my son gets drafted to the Jaguars. And going on the first clip on Draft Stories, Miles, like this right here, if you don't tear up a little bit on this one, man, like maybe your heart is a little too cold. But this one right here is it's an amazing story. Chris Vaughn, who works in the scouting department, calling his son Chris, to tell him for basically take your son to work.
Realize they're talking to you on the
What?
phone.
Jerry Jones may be
You is now
like,
a
it's okay
Dallas
to Umar. He
Cowboy.
kind of
Your daddy just
perfectly
hand the
summed
card
up
in.
this racism.
Right here.
Yes.
Got
Being
him on.
racist doesn't mean
Congratulations.
Jerry Jones. Jerry is like, if you play for the Cowboys and you do something for Jerry, Jerry is one of those guys who's going to look out for you for the rest of his life. I don't care what anybody says. Like his scouting people, that's just a scout. And to give that man the opportunity, that is, man, you heard it. The only reason I talk about my sons is because y'all tell you that black fathers don't exist. But I'll tell you this, one of those things that the good ones, and it's not a good thing, but what the good black fathers don't want to do is cry. Like, even when we're proud, we want to be, gotta be stoic, gotta be tough, gotta be that way ready. Man, did you hear that man's voice crack? I just want to know if you would like to go to work for me. And he was trying to, like, he got to be a man in front of all these people, but he wants to jump through the roof because he's so proud that not only is his son getting an opportunity to go to the league, but his son is getting an opportunity to go to the league for the franchise that's employed him. That's something different. Like, that scouting evaluation was bigger than everybody else's. That's dope. That's the moment NFL, like, that's my guy Charles said, who's cutting onions? The first thing I put is, why are my eyes sweating when I saw that? Like, those are good. Like, that's just as good as, well, Chris Vaughn's dad used to be the director of scouting for the Cowboys, and the Cowboys had drafted him. He had a tragic car accident where his car flipped over 5 times and ran into a children's hospital. Like, that's the other stories that they're giving people. We don't need those stories. We need more stories of like that. And which moves me into what my 8 o'clock, my main issue with the draft that's come up. Actually, no, before we get to my bad, play this. This was actually kind of cool. My fault. The Philadelphia Eagles might as well change themselves to the Philadelphia Eagle Bulldogs because they drafted so many Georgia Bulldogs. One of not the G. It's not the GM, is it? Who is that? My bad. Craig Lawson put this up. It was a very funny moment. No, it is the GM. Shout out to my boy, the assistant GM, Dave Caldwell. But the GM is a Gator. So this is what their dialogue when they drafted Nolan Smith in the first round. They traded back up to get Nolan Smith, who the Jags could have gotten. Which makes me a little upset because I would have liked to see him. But we got the tackle, so that's good. But push this. This is like good moment. This is marketable shit.
I'm a Florida Gator. Do you know how much this hurts my soul to take all these Georgia Bulldogs? You know,
Yeah, you want to win, though. You want to win.
I do want to win. I do want to win, my man. You're right. I do want to win. I'm a Florida Gator.
That's
Do you know how much this?
He said, "Hell yeah," but you want to win, though, my man. You want to win, and that's the truth. Again, just things that are just teeing stuff up. These nobody is I've seen these guys. There are really racist constructs and thought process that are in the NFL that are in stuff. But I can promise you this right now: the way the league is working right now, nobody is purposely overlooking any prospect that can make them win. And what do you mean by that, James? The conversation was had. There was one player drafted from an HBCU, and that's Isaiah Bolden, who was formerly of Florida State, formerly of a lot of different schools, wound up going to Jackson State. He got drafted in the 6th round, I believe. He's the only guy drafted. Isaiah Land, who was at one point, it wasn't last year, he won the Defensive Player of the Year in all FCS, went undrafted. Jackson State had a couple other players that went undrafted. Xavier Smith, a wide receiver who actually had his moment up there, went undrafted. And a lot of people took to Twitter to talk about the conspiracy. And I don't get it. Deion Sanders put this. So proud of you, Isaiah Bolden, 23. You deserve to be drafted much higher, but I'm truly proud of you. I know how much you want this. I'm ashamed of the 31 other NFL teams that couldn't find draft value in all of the talented HBCU players. And we had 3 more draft-worthy players at JSU. I find that ironic. How can you talk about how great and how rich the history is and all these different things, but your ass left? You left for the very same reasons that kids don't go to HBCUs and that the NFL scouts don't consistently come to HBCUs, because of the level of talent and the level of play. That does not mean that, Isaiah, there aren't players that aren't talented enough to be on NFL rosters. But when you think about one, like the reality of the situation, how do you know? How do we know? What do we know? Let's go. I'm going to look at the two. And this is coming from a guy who absolutely loves HBCU ball. I was born and bred on an HBCU's campus, FAMU. I help out. I do all kinds of different things. But I want to look. FAMU went 9-9. FAMU had 2 players that I believe deserve to be on NFL rosters. I believe Xavier Smith probably should have been drafted over the guy Parker Washington for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Parker Washington's level of competition was not higher than what FAMU faced. FAMU played 2 teams of note that had NFL caliber players: the University of North Carolina and then Jackson State University. They played very well against the University of North Carolina. They got beat 59-3 by Jackson State. You played a Division II team in Albany State that you barely won, 23-13. Hold on, my bad. I need to get this records. That's not what I need to see. What the other team's records were. You barely beat Ace. That's not what I. So well, this is good right here. So of the teams that you played, let me see if we got Southern. Did they play Southern? No, they played. Oh, no. Yep, they played Southern. 1. Of the teams you played outside of Jackson State, 2 had above 500 records. What film are they going to watch? That's what these guys do. When they come down, the player personnel or the scout, they come in and they watch film. What film are they going to watch? You beating Alabama A&M? I just like because when you play Jackson State, they can't watch the Jackson State game. It's 59-3. They're not gonna watch a D2 game. Grambling State was below 500. You beat them 20-16. Alabama A&M, I believe, was 6-6. You beat them 38-25. Southern was a good team. You beat them 30-16. Alabama State wasn't that good. You beat them 21-14. BCU rivalry game, not very good. No coach at the time. I mean, the coach is getting fired at the time. You beat them 41-20. The conversation that we need to have with HBCUs is we need to stop having this moral outrage over bullshit, right? And start really supporting and holding accountable. And what does that look like? What does that mean? What that means is this. You can't help some of these games. Let me look at your 2023 schedule. Can we stop it? Now, if you're going to play South Florida, those schools, beat them. Beat them. The Lincoln School. I don't know much about them in the November 11th game we're playing, but could you not schedule a FCS school that's consistently good so that you can work on your playoff standings? Can you not schedule another FCS school other than West Florida? They were D2 national champions, but that was a long time ago. Like when you know the swag isn't the talent. I don't care what you say. The records reflect the talent, and it's not consistently there outside of the top teams. Can you put people on your schedule that will make a scout watch? I remember joking. Deion talked a lot of shit, but he never scheduled North Dakota State. You know what North Dakota State is just now doing? Because they've been winning so long, people are taking notice to what they're doing. They're getting guys drafted, 1 or 2 every year. It took them a while to consistently get to that point. Go play them. Sometimes we sit back and have this thing where they should come to us. No, who the fuck are you? You want to play in their league. You gotta like, where's your guys at? I know this FSU had 3 to 4 guys up at the combine that weren't there for anything else but to meet NFL personnel. Develop relationships. This is a relationship business. Send somebody to Indy. I keep telling you guys that Indy is the whole experience is literally to go meet people. I bet you it might not have worked for Land and Smith there, but it could probably work for the next group of guys that you have. If you have those guys available. We want something that's do you want it earned or do you want it given? Because like that's an entitlement thing. You're not entitled to shit. And that's coming from a guy who believes that they truly deserve it. But they got the chance. You know what this is the wild part. There are guys with agents. There are guys who played at other schools that didn't even get the opportunity to sign a contract right after the draft. And I bet when we look at those contracts, we're going to look at it just like FAMU's DB did the year before. And you're going to see it's more favorable than most 5th to 7th round prospects. The guaranteed money is going to be similar. And that's all you should care about. Because I can't think, it was Marquise Bell, I think it was his name, was the DB. And when I saw that boy had like $300,000 guaranteed to his contract, whether they cut him or not, you know what that told me? he got a phenomenal shot of making this Cowboys team. The problem is a lot of you guys, much like you were talking about with Lamar Jackson and his mom not being an agent, you're crying and complaining about things that you have no idea about, and you're not willing to do anything to change. It's just like the NIL stuff. It's just like everything else. If you really would go and talk to the people who know what they're talking about, we could come up with a plan to see the change that you want. Otherwise, you got to sit back and eat what you're given. Because when I look at this, I don't see a schedule of that. I don't see a schedule that I want to see them play outside of the band. And maybe some of the food and the pageantry. It's time we start being honest. Raise the product. But this is what I tweeted when I saw those guys go to there, because I had a kid, Carmelo Murphy. Carmelo is one of the best high school linebackers that I've ever seen. This is me, James Coleman, covers the NFL, covers college, played in college, played in the NFL. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm looking at, right? Put numerous kids in Division I schools. Melo's main problem is Melo's 5'9". But Melo can play ball. I, as a high school coach that sees it all on every level, went to two HBCUs, and said, hey, man, I think y'all should go get this guy. You know what those two HBCUs didn't do? Give my guy a chance. All First Coast, all state, all kinds of accolades, right? But you know what I didn't do? I didn't cry, take to social media, and say that they're not giving my guy a chance, and it's a conspiracy against Mandarin High School from HBCUs to not take any guys that they don't do. No, those coaches have an obligation to draft who they feel, to sign who they feel will give them the best shot, right? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Why is it okay for you to turn down high school prospects that other people who are qualified can say without a shadow of a doubt and vouch for? But when that happens to you, it's got to be a big conspiracy. Now, if you want to tell me the NCAA is against HBCUs, I'm with you. I don't think HBCUs need to be in the NCAA. It does absolutely nothing for them. But outside of that, to say the NFL, Earl Holmes got drafted in the 4th round in 1995. Good players from HBCUs get drafted. Every year it happens. This didn't happen this year. I can promise you there's no evil conspiracy, guys. The conspiracy is you need to put your players in better positions to get them drafted. Outside of that, we got to stop. We got to teach our kids a little bit better. I don't blame parents on this one, right? Oh, whoa. Did you see that? Somebody gifted a membership. It didn't show. Anyway, we'll find that out. Thanks for gifting somebody a membership. But one of the things I'm gonna wrap up, because I blame rap music, but money, people are hustling backwards. There's no need to go pledge Goon grad chapter. I don't think you should pledge any grad chapter, but definitely you should not be pledging Gangsta grad chapter, especially if you're going to do this. Tony Mitchell from out of the Panhandle signed to the University of Alabama, probably got an NIL deal, probably has all kinds of money. Bright future was ahead of him until he decided to speed going 141 miles per hour with 226 grams of marijuana, $7,000 in cash, a loaded gun. Basically a recipe to go to the booty house for the rest of your life. And one thing I don't like is when people start doing all this criminal stuff and they can't do the time and start crying and snitching. And this is basically play a little bit of this video. This is what we need. My mom showed me the Emmett Till video when I was young. This is what we need to start showing kids that want to be goons, want to be gangsters. And I think you can see the point where he realized his life is gone.
Yeah. The keys to the car. Yeah. Yeah. Just do me a favor. If you don't mind, just put them on top of your roof so the ignition can't feel it. Just set them on top of your roof. Yeah, just like that.
He's lucky he didn't get shot.
Do you have a medical marijuana card? Do you have a medical marijuana card? Because I smell marijuana coming from the vehicle. Okay. So do you have marijuana? Because I smell it. Now's a chance to be honest with me, Warner.
Never fall for that, by the way.
Okay.
I didn't run from you, sir, because
Are you sure about that? Because there was two of us there when you passed that church. All right. Just do me a favor. Step out. Yeah, just step out. All right, man. Well, just do me a favor right now. You're not under arrest. You are going to be detained. Put your hands behind your back for me. So, not back corner. No, you ain't under arrest. You're just going to be detained because I just chased that car. Okay, that's more weed. How much weed y'all got? How much more weed y'all got? Am I going to find anything else? Yeah, but okay. How much weed is that?
Grams of marijuana, $7,000 cash, and a loaded gun in the vehicle. Mitchell's passenger, Christopher Lewis, is also taken out of the vehicle. When officers detain both of them, Mitchell begins to cry.
Can you put him in the back of your car? Okay.
This is
Can you put him in the back of your car and search him? You ain't under arrest right now. I'm just going to talk to you, okay? Hey, it's going to be okay. Listen, you're just detained, okay? Just put him back of your car.
I'm
normally a pretty decent judge of character.
Like your whole life is done.
Right.
You went from being a potential starter, taking your mom out the hood. Now,
And you don't have to talk.
like, what's crazy is this? I want everybody listening right now, because the cops stopped him first and said, "Do you have a medical marijuana card?" You can legitimately, you know how easy it is to obtain a medical marijuana card. You can go. There's a marijuana shop right around the corner from here. You can literally walk in, $20, get you some good weed, and you know what you can do now? You can read it like it's the back of the back of a cereal box. You know how people count their carbs and stuff like that? You can read, that's what's in this. Oh, Blue Dream. Oh, these are the things that are, you actually know what's in it. You know what unless you know what these weed guys are getting, you don't know what's in this weed. But you walk in, there's a customer. I don't trust the government, but you trust the fentanyl man. They putting out like it trips me out. Like to go to jail for selling weed in 2023 is stupid because it's basically legal. But but why, like, what I'm noticing too, and we'll end on this, but I got, like, when I've ever been drinking, and don't do this, don't drink and drive, you should not do this. But if I've ever done that, you know what I do? A better job of obeying all traffic laws.
Right.
Oh, I come to a complete stop at every stop sign. I am driving the speed limit. I am not going 141 miles per hour when I know I've been doing something wrong. Like, you got drugs, you got all this stuff, man, you better be riding clean and smooth. And drugs and guns never match. Streets ain't for everybody. Get your grades, cuz, to quote Nipsey Hussle. But on that note, appreciate you guys. We're gonna I got a crazy week. We're probably gonna do our Wednesday show at night. I'll be on the road. Bulls lacrosse Final Four will be in Naples, Florida. I'm leaving on Wednesday. Hopefully come back Sunday, but we'll see. Depends on how we play on Thursday. Last year we got our asses whooped, but hopefully we win. So on that note, we'll try to have a couple more shows. Check out Sporadics tonight at 7:30 with Chris Frazier. And appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me. We will see you guys next time.